In a quiet coastal village where the rhythm of life was dictated by the tides lived a community of fishermen. Their lives were simple, yet challenging. Each day they ventured into the sea, casting nets and battling the waves to bring food and income to their families. For generations, the village had thrived on the sea's bounty, and the fishermen were respected for their courage and skill. One year, during the peak fishing season, dark clouds began gathering over the horizon. The wind grew stronger each day, and the waves became wild and restless. One morning, the village woke to news that the storm would keep the fishermen away from the sea for at least a week. The boats remained anchored, and the usually busy docks were eerily silent. The young fishermen, restless and frustrated, wandered aimlessly along the shore. They stared at the gray waves, wishing they could go out and cast their nets. Sitting idly, they grumbled about lost income, wasted time, and the unfairness of nature. "We've waited all year for the best catch, and now we can do nothing," said one of them, slamming his hand on the dock. Meanwhile, the older fishermen quietly gathered in a corner of the village workshop. They pulled out old, worn nets from their boats, some frayed and torn from months of use. Sitting together, they began to repair the nets, threading needles, knotting ropes, and weaving carefully. Their hands moved skillfully, almost automatically, yet their eyes held focus and determination. The young men watched them for a while, puzzled. "Why bother fixing nets when we can't fish?" one of them finally asked. The oldest fisherman, a man named Suleiman, looked up from his work and smiled gently. "The sea is unpredictable," he said. "We cannot control its storms, the wind, or the waves. But the nets, those we can control. If we do nothing while waiting, the time is lost. But if we repair our nets now, when the sea calms, we will be ready to catch more fish than ever before." His words sank in slowly. The young fishermen, curious and inspired, joined the elders. They learned to weave knots properly, to check every tier and hole, and to strengthen the nets that would carry the weight of their future catches. Slowly, frustration turned into focus, and idleness transformed into meaningful work. Days passed, and the storm eventually subsided. The sky cleared, and the sea, once furious, now shimmered under the morning sun. The fishermen prepared their boats and nets for the first voyage after the storm. Those who had repaired their nets carefully found that their work paid off. They were able to cast stronger nets and catch more fish than anyone expected. Their patience, preparation, and dedication turned a time of waiting into a time of opportunity. The young fishermen realized the depth of the lesson. Life, like the sea, is often unpredictable. Storms, delays, and obstacles will always come. But even when circumstances prevent us from moving forward, there is always something to be done, something that prepares us for the future. From that day on, the village embraced Suleiman's wisdom. When storms came, the nets were repaired. When the sea was calm, the fishermen sailed with readiness and confidence. The saying spread across the village: "When fishermen cannot go to sea, they repair their nets." And it became more than advice. It became a philosophy for life. It reminded everyone that waiting does not have to mean wasting. In every pause, every delay, there is a chance to prepare, improve, and strengthen yourself for the next opportunity. Those who understand this can weather any storm and succeed when the time is right.